This PhD study is about the art making process and how it could be translated from a hands-on process that it is to the one which could take place in a virtual reality platform. The research questions are two. One, the possible manner that the creative process in visual art can be translated into an equally intuitive and effective procedure within the means and affordances of virtual reality. And two, the assemblage of a virtual reality toolkit from existing platforms which could facilitate the artist's creative process as their analog counterparts do. The research methodology will be divided in two parts. The first part is the scoping review of literature, therefore the current research on art making, and virtual reality, with an aim to identify the gaps in the current research. And the second is a participatory design study to identify the artist platforms and their preferred processes on the conception of an artwork. In order to define the elements on which the literature review will be based on, we will need to define the framework related to creativity and its elements. Therefore, the framework which will be used in this PhD research will be based on the 5A model, the 4C model, and the 3-mode model. The research framework, therefore, will be based on the 5A mode, as mentioned, which is the actor, therefore the creator, the action, the process of creativity, the artifact, the tangible product of the creative process, the audience, which is the cultural contrast, the society, which may criticize or contribute to the creation, and the affordances, therefore, what is possible with the environment and the tools that the creator could find. The categories of creativity are four. The mini-C creativity is called the personal creativity, which is the thoughts or the creative ideas we may have, but they're not expressed. The little c, which is our everyday insights. The pro C, the professional expertise in any field. And the big C, which is the great thinking, the one that leads to paradigm shifts in any field as well. Finally, the creativity mode is divided into three. The visceral, therefore the way that we relate with our body and senses during the creative actions. The ideational, thus the conception of the artifact. And finally, the observational, which is analyzing and observing the first two modes. Therefore, this PhD research is focusing on the following elements. The actor, therefore the artist in this case, the affordances, which are common both in analog and virtual media, in pro C creativity, therefore artists who have reached a professional level of expertise, and the visceral and ideational modes of the creative process, therefore how they relate to their body and how the conceptual process works in art making. The five mentioned elements will be used in order to create strings of keywords for the systematic literature review. These keywords will be found either the title or the subject of papers or journal articles written in English. The reason for this scoping review is to identify the gaps in research on art making, visual arts, immersion, and virtual reality in relation to the five elements that they were just mentioned. The second part is the participatory design study. It will bring together 12 artists working with virtual reality and other extra media, and will be divided in three stages. Stage 1 which is an online workshop and aims to lead discussion on VR platforms and the processes that the artists use. The stage 2, which is an empirical study and a comparison of the creative process on a desktop VR platform, in this case Unity and Pro Builder, and a VR headset platform, in this case OpenBrush. The third stage is another empirical study, and it's a collaborative creative exercise in virtual environment, and in this case the iLRN virtual campus powered by Virbela. The expected outcomes are the overview of preferred VR platforms, initial results of the studies, and evaluation of the proposed research method for the main study, and consideration as well of methods to analyze the data systematically. The future directions of this PhD research will be to identify the gaps of VR to support the art making process, the assemblage of a VR toolkit capable of facilitating the creative process in visual arts, to open the art creation in digital, VR, and other external platforms and media, bringing together more comprehensive network of artists, regardless of location or other limitations. And finally, facilitate the dissemination of the benefits of the arts making process to the public and educative framework.